I am that which I will to be. That's one statement that I make from the Master Key System, a little variation of it. And I want you to know that you can start using magic. Something magical is happening right now. We talk about the transition, the event, the acceleration. What is the event? It is the spiritual transition of the planet. That is a huge event. Well, it's not going to happen overnight, but it is happening with great acceleration. I want you to know that. What does that mean? We're going to go into an era where what used to be the mystical or that people got burned at the stake for is going to be the usual and accepted. If you want to go into a magical era, a golden era, but I want to talk about change, the changes that are coming up and the changes that are going to happen as a part of our choice to move into something completely different. Remember, we talked about we cannot have a new era unless some things dissolve. What's going to happen and how is Mother Earth transitioning? We're going to talk about that right now. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Can you hear crunching in the background? Yes, I'm doggy sitting. That's my little golden doodle sweetie crunching in the background. I have a very big announcement. July 7th, I will be on Coast to Coast AM radio with George Norrie. Yes, I'm going to be interview. What's the subject matter? Miracles. They looked at my history, my teachings of breakthrough fear, your spiritual butt kick. They looked at digitalexplorers.net that's creating a completely new way of doing business, planet conscious businesses for everybody. It's no private club. We're opening up the gateways for positive change that everybody can participate in, and they wanted to talk. And they asked me about some of the things that transpired in my own life and others, and the same subject kept coming up. Really, miracles. I'm going to talk about that today. We can put any name we want on it. Magic, miracles, intuition, stepping into the fifth dimension. We have all kinds of labels that we don't truly understand, any of them. I'm going to talk about that today. So I hope you'll subscribe, support my channel. I have other big announcements. I'm going to be on other talk shows and podcasts. And my great wish is to get the word out there that breaking through fear is the passage to all probabilities, that you get to pick and choose. It is fear that inhibits you, limits your thinking, and the magic we talk about, it's just what you are. So if I took you and put you in a box and out in the woods and fed you, and one day I opened the box and you would think this is like this unbelievable world, yet you were in it the whole time. We just had you in a box. That's all that's going on right now. So we're removing what I call the veils. The veils are the chosen ignorance and unconsciousness that the conscious one, the source of all things, that is all things, chose in order to know that. There is no right nor wrong, nor good nor bad. It is one thing, so you cannot say that anything is bad or separate. Nothing's separate. Where does that line begin and end? There isn't one. So that which is everything must be all these things all at the same time. It's overwhelming for our brains to wrap our head around, so we can't really do that, nor should we try to. I want to talk about the magical things that are going on right now. And also tell you that if you want to come into my free list, free inspiration for landria.com, you have the opportunity to take the Breakthrough Fear class and also other master classes to help you go into this mindset. It takes practice, and it takes a shift in mindset and an introduction of maybe just that one thing that I share with you that shifts you into miracles. The Miracle Circle, we meet once a month, but you have an assignment and things to do during that month to work on. So it's very, very simple. Digital Explorers, creating planet conscious businesses, amazing. If you want to go into the new world of change that is already underway, it is happening now. I just did a video. I said, the big event is accelerating. All right, so it is happening because the more of us that go into that space and let go of the limitations, the programming, whether it's religion or education or anything else. When we step away from it, we go into expansion, and that expansion happens within our playing field here on planet Earth. It's a game we all agreed to play together. It actually changes the program. No, it's not on a computer. It changes the quantum field. And so the frequencies will go up. There's more expansive thinking and acceptance, also taking responsibility. The magic that you can perform right now. What is magic? Magic is miracles. Magic is when, you get invited on Coast to Coast to AM, but you have to facilitate things. Now, here's the key to today's video. Before we were in the let's meditate, it will roll in at my feet. I've actually heard that before. You don't have to do anything, but actually you do, because I'm going to tell you why. That's the balance of the material world game, is that we are in a material world that we chose to have to physically do things. We want to experience that. If I just sat here and projected myself, astral projected all over the place, or dreamt or whatever, and didn't really physically do anything, I wouldn't get to play out the amazing game that's going on here. It's time for you to play out. Now, I had videos about a year or so ago. I call it the year of action. I would name every year. The year of action was like, okay, we've been transitioning, transforming. Now we have to take the action. This is where we are now, but we're going to combine that magic, that transition that we're going through. We're going to take all of that, pull it in, and we're going to create and use our magic. We don't even have to create anything. It already exists, the magic. And that is, I am that which I will to be. I am that which I will to be. So we are starting to understand that we are the creative force, that it is not separate. This is that whole separate thing, is when we get in trouble. Well, God is some person or an entity out there that's separate from us, and that's just not true. We are the extension of one energy field, so that beautiful light that we have different frequencies is still connected. There's no separate floor. It just blends together, right? It just colors that blend together don't separate, and then they are not aware of each other. They're all affecting one another. The one source is all of this. We are it. Therefore, we hold the exact same powers as source. If we come from a lower frequency, we limited ourselves, but that's a choice. We chose that to no limitations, so that we could experience things that we don't, as the perfect light beings that we are, that don't have a physical body. So what I want to share with you today is the magic that you hold right now is being created through, of course, we know our thoughts. You have to be on your game every moment. I am that which I will to be. Now, here's what we usually do. We sit here and we look out here. We blame the material world. We're looking and reading about what's the future going to be. Those are my most popular videos. When I tell you what the future's going to be, is when we sit here and we think that future is somehow happening that we're going to participate in, instead of us creating it. You're creating it. So even if the collective chooses something not so nice, you still get to choose your participation in it. And it doesn't have to be cataclysmic or negative or something that happens to you that you don't desire, because you will always have a positive response choice within it that is the reason you came here. So there's always opportunity in everything that happens. Now, I just saw 3 major psychics, and I thought, and they're predicting the future. It's as if they've watched everybody else's prediction and they're all quacking out the same thing, right? And they're ducks, they're just quacking. And you know what? I'm not a duck. I realized that they're picking up on each other's stuff and they're spewing out a future that doesn't have to be. Period. Doesn't have to be. Nor is it in stone. There are things already in play that we have created that are already happening. Okay, we've already projected that in, because in order for us to go into something completely different, these things have to happen. People are fearing the future of the planet, water in particular. Why would you fear anything when you're eternal? And let's just, I'll ask you a question around, do you think you're going to die at some point? Do you think you're going to leave this body? Yeah? Hello, McFly. So why does it matter how you exit? So this, people are fearing of dying, you know, that you're going to die anyways. So you get to choose how that happens and under what circumstances. And so if you're coming from fear of that future, then you are disempowering yourself and not taking the action and the control. All right? So you are here and you're not underwater right now, okay? And I just can't see it happening in our lifetime. Or at least my lifetime. You know, if you're younger, maybe you'll see some stuff. Of course the earth is going to change. Of course she goes through constant cycles all the time. It's not just now, it's been since, you know, since she existed, and we don't actually really know or how she came to be. But we know that she, like us, goes through these cycles. Everything does. Our economy, our health, everything does. You can choose within this exactly how your life plays out. I am that which I will to be. Now, if you say that several times a day, you will experience magic. I'm serious about this. Because what it does is it's not you going, oh, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to attract something to me that's not at all like me. No, you have to be that. Know it is done. Know it is done means that I already know that I am that. And that's in the Bible. You have to know it. You cannot be over here asking, praying, begging because you don't believe it's done. You think something has power out here separate from you. The key word is separate. There is no such thing. And when you stop believing that, then you stop the separation between you and the very power that's creating that. So instead of being the person that says, I am helpless and there's something else that's going to do something for me, it says yes. Okay. And so this power here that you are creates a separation because you created it. I'm creating me helpless. For some reason, these things are happening to me, and that you, the power out there, has control over me, and nothing ever happens or changes for those people because they're not doing it. They create this helplessness and a separate power. You are able to create that through your choice. So you create a reality where that exists. And so nothing can happen within that to change your life until you realize, I am that which I will to be. What is that? That thing that you desire, that future that you desire? Right here, I have to become that. I have to know it, believe it, and stop seeing myself as the person who is not that. Now, here's the toughest thing. You go, yeah, but I am struggling to pay my bills, but I am sick. I do have a struggle with my relationship or addiction or whatever. You say, yes. So here's the action. So then we go into saying, okay, I am that which I will to be means the person that is creating this isn't the person who's created this. And this person who's looking to that to help me has to go in here and become this. And so that means you have to get mentors, you have to study, you have to take action, you have to look at the people who are accomplishing the things you desire in the material world and beyond and say, how are they doing that? And find the things that work for you. And it's not everybody. There's no one master or one teacher. That's why we're all so different. That's why I do spiritual butt kicks. I'm sure there's a lot of people who, they probably hate that. And others, as I know, probably you, love it. What's a spiritual butt kick? I'm going to tell George Norrie. We hold the power. It's like, bend over. I'm going to give you a good old swift kick, a spiritual one, because you have it, you are it, you're doing it. Here's the toughest thing, is this magic we wield is always in play. But if we choose the limitations, then we are creating a limited world of pain and struggle and suffering, and we stay there because, again, we don't think that we're creating all the changes, all the other things. I don't know where to start. Well, you better find it. That means you have to stop looking at this and saying, this is how things are, and say, what is my behavior? And this is in many, many teachings. And start to look at yourself and say, okay, what is the behavior? And start watching your behavior and your thoughts. You have to catch it. Now, breakthrough fear, I teach this. We become the observer. We stop participating in the negative actions and thoughts and beliefs. And we recognize them and go, whoa, woo, holy cow. I've been doing that. I do that all day. Maybe I say it, I don't even really believe it, but I'm saying it in my head or thinking it, and therefore I am that which I will to be. And that thought is creating. And this is why when we go, please save me, and then nothing happens, and then we go over here and go, wait a second, this whole time I was having these thoughts and I didn't change it. I'm not willing to be this, I'm willing to be that, because those are the thoughts. And so whether you say, well, I don't really believe them or not, you have to be the observer that catches them and watches them float by until they dissolve. There's a future of ours that is going to shift us into a big transition. Part of it is a lot of people will leave the planet. Again, it's probably not going to be in your lifetime. These people that were predicting the future, they're just spewing the same crap, and it's fear. It's fear. And you don't need to protect yourself. You don't need to barricade yourself. You don't need to hoard, because that is the fear-based beliefs that somehow I'm protecting something that needs to be protected. You don't have to protect anything. In fact, if you shift into a different space where you say, let's start creating our environment right now where we're going to take care of each other. Instead of fearing each other and, getting, hoarding whatever else that's going to, create conflict, let's start creating this open communication. And how do we solve some of the problems out here? Now, if you are listening to or taking sides with anybody out there, and some of you know who this might be, anybody who speaks separation, conflict of any kind, taking sides, getting angry, pointing fingers, it's a fear-based conditioning to get us to battle each other. That's part of the game. It's part of the low-frequency game to get the little peeps out here to battle with each other, because it puts them in control, even if it's in negativity. We had, in our world wars, we had a major short little guy, and what was he doing? Yeah, he pitted us against each other. This is the critical key, all right? This is the key to the final destruction that doesn't have to take place if we don't play the game. So no matter what you say about that person, what they think, I don't have to oppose you, argue with you, because there's no right nor wrong, because the one energy is all of these things. I know you guys don't want to believe, some of you don't want to believe it. There's this, and they're right and wrong, and you need to do this, and there's this fear-based, belief out there that says, oh, I better believe this, and it's going, it's dissolving. This is a very complex subject, and I don't know how many hours I have with George Noory, but we're going to get into it. And so when you are hearing that you have to take a side, you have to prepare for some kind of a conflict with some other people that don't think the same way as you, when you go into anger or debates, it is a low frequency program to get us to fight one another, which will destroy us and take us into a completely different reality where we do eliminate a huge part of the population, not because for any other reason than we chose to destroy ourselves, because we believed low frequency, let's say, programming. That's all. You don't have to believe any of it. You don't have to go into that space. It is the basement in the darkness, not knowing that there's a penthouse. And up there, all we focus on is everything we can do to resolve issues and to celebrate our differences and to help those who are in the lower frequencies What can we do to assist them to make different choices, but not make them make different choices or tell them they need to be spiritual? You got to let some people go down. It's what they chose. It's like, wait a minute, I wanted to do this. I wanted to struggle and suffer. Thank you. So you want me to sit there and meditate and be all happy all the time? I wanted to experience illness or loss or sadness or anger. I wanted that. What is that? It contributes to the whole experience. But then the choices within that is what determines where they are personally in their just seemingly separate adventure, is where they're going to go and what they're going to contribute. It is not to be condemned, to be judged. It is the one. I am that which I will to be. So you have to accept that you are the one experiencing everything, and that this can choose something beautiful no matter what, and my future goes before me. Why? Because I'm creating it here, and it always goes before. This that I believe right now is always going before me. And if I change this, then I'm going into this future. It's always before me because it's happening right here. It's what I believe and think right now. This is magic, and you can do anything. You can heal yourself. You can, go after any kind of insane goal, and you take the action. And you stop putting the limitations, and you say, how would I do this? How would I go about doing this? I decided I wanted to be on Coast to Coast AM. I just made a decision. I thought, how would I do that? And I took the action. And now I'm going to be doing it for a lot of other places. Why? I've got to get this word out there that you are capable of miracles, because the only reason we call them miracles is because they rarely occur. We rarely tap into our magic. We can do it all day long. We have that power. You have unlimited power, even as a human being. It's up to you. This is our future. This is what we're expanding into. It is an individual choice. Individual, because the game allows us to be an individual, even though we're not. That's why you are allowed to choose limitations, even though you don't have any. You get to experience it. That's it. Does this make sense? You get to choose it. So, what do you want to go into? Are you seeing those people as the problem? They are the violent ones. They're there. They're you. They are you. What are you going to do here? And judgment, I tell you this all the time, is one of the lowest forms, one of the lowest frequencies within this human experience. Don't go there. Don't go there. All right, so if you want to come over, the Miracle Circle, it's just a monthly membership. And seriously, it's like the price of, it was the price of my dinner the other night. For a whole month, and teachings, we go into a live session that we talk about the assignment. The last one was called Who Am I? And we started to look at ourselves, and we had a little practice that we do. And then I do a live meditation with you, and we place our light out there, and we send it out to the planet and to others, and we personally connect out into that space where all things are possible, that miracle space, that beautiful quantum field, and we drop all of the stuff, and we go into the space together as a group. And we have had literally miracles happen. The stuff that people come back and tell me, and stuff that happens on camera that they'll write me later, healings, phone calls that they never expected. So if you're interested, come in. You'll get an opportunity to go into the Miracle Circle. I'm going to talk about that with George Norrie July 7th, so get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. Miracles are here for you right now. You hold magic because you are that. I am that which I will to be. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.